Okay, enough. Hello everyone and welcome to finally a new video on my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Runa, behind the YouTube channel Off She Goes, and I create travel videos with my motorcycle. The news this year is that I recently became the ambassador for Husqvarna Motorcycles Scandinavia, meaning I get to ride this bike for the season, which is the Husqvarna Norden 901. I've only had this for a few weeks and I've only ridden it about 700 kilometers. So this will be a very much shallow, not in-depth review at all. Also, I have not had the opportunity to take it off-road or any kind of gravel. Actually, this is my first time doing any kind of like gravel on it. It's just like a parking lot. And also I have not been riding it with any luggage or passenger or that kind of stuff. So this is just very much the bike from the factory. I have not done any alterations or anything to it yet. So yeah, I guess I'll have to come back in the fall after my travels this year. In the beginning of June, I'm starting a trip through Norway, Sweden and Denmark. And after that, I think I'll have a lot more to say about how I feel this bike performs. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this video is primarily based on questions from you guys, my followers on Instagram and also my subscribers on YouTube. I've gotten a lot of requests on comparing this bike to my previous bike, which was the Tenere 700. So I will do that in many ways on the different things that I will talk about on this bike. First question is from many of you guys why I changed bike, and I kind of touched on that already. This year I got the opportunity to be the ambassador for Husqvarna Motorcycles Scandinavia, meaning of course I will be riding a Husqvarna. So I'm not changing bikes because the Tenere was not good enough. Sometimes you just get opportunities that you can't really say no to, can you? And this is one of those, and I'm excited to see what kind of possibilities and opportunities it will bring me. Question number 2, which I've been asked frequently, is why am I riding the standard Norden and not the Norden Expedition that they just launched this spring? Which is a fair question. Short question is, this bike suits my needs better. It is lower, it is lighter, about 10 kilo lighter, and it's just better for asphalt riding, which is what I mainly do. I'd say last season I probably did like 70% asphalt, 30% gravel. I do mostly asphalt riding, and this one with a little bit softer suspension and such, it's just better for that kind of riding. Also, I do get to customize this bike however I want to, and been given freedom, like the spoiled brat I am, to order any kind of extra equipment that I feel like I need or want for this bike. Right now it is exactly how it came from the factory, just pure stock version of the bike. I haven't adjusted a single thing on this bike yet, like not even nothing, absolutely nothing. So that's another video where we'll talk about all the upgrades that I'm making, and I'll take you along in the workshop to mount everything and that kind of stuff. So that's that. Next question is about the seat and how comfortable the seat is, which I have to say, for a while I thought that I was very picky about the seats, because it seems like whatever bike I rode, it was just uncomfortable. One of my first bikes was a KTM 790 Adventure standard model, and my next bike was the Tenere 700. And this, guys, oh, it's so much better. It's a lot wider here in the back, a little bit softer. Worth mentioning though, on the Tenere 700 I did have the lower seats which have less padding, so it was quite not awesome on long days on the bike. I don't know what else there is to say about it. It's comfortable, it's nice, I like it. Next question is the seating position, and more precisely the angle of the knees you have here, which it's quite a bit more sharp angle than you have on, for example, the Tenere 700. At first I thought this would perhaps cause a problem, that it would cause my legs to fall asleep or my knees to be painful throughout the day. That's not the case at all for me. It's surprisingly comfortable. One of the first things I noticed when I got on this bike that I wasn't sure if I liked or not, it just felt very different, as how wide the tank is right here. So when you get on it, you're kind of sitting with your knees very much like outwards, and the tank just feels very big compared to the very slim Tenere, where you have your knees almost like a 90-degree angle. And I thought, oh my gosh, is that going to be like hurting my hips and my knees and that kind of stuff throughout when I ride this bike for a whole day? But it just took like a couple hours, and then I didn't even think about it. And now when I get on the bike, it's nothing that I notice anymore. So it's just a matter of getting used to it, which doesn't take very long at all, honestly. Next thing, seat height. I am 175 centimeters tall, and I have an inseam about, I think, 74 centimeters or something. I'm not sure what that's in inches. I'm European, I do centimeters, but I can convert it and put the inches in the description or in the video. I have it in the lowest position right now. There's two positions on the seat, the high and the low. And like, as you can probably see, I don't know if you can see my foot behind here, but I can like touch it with my toes on each side, and that's pretty much it. I've luckily finally come to a point where that it doesn't bother me at all anymore. I've gotten used to kind of scooching over and moving the weight around and just like touching one foot down when I come to a still stand, so that it doesn't bother me at all. But if you are a rider that prefers having like at least one full foot or a half foot or on each side down on the ground, or even more, I think you can get like a lowering kit for the bike. I have not tested it. I have not talked with anyone who have tested it. I did have a lowering kit on my Tenere 700, which I had no problems with. I actually really enjoyed it. I know some people would say, it kind of destroys the feeling of the bike and the performance of the bike, I guess. I never tried a Tenere without the lowering kit, so I can't really compare it. But I think if you feel more comfortable with having more contact with the ground, then go for it. Just do whatever you feel with your bike to make you comfortable. All right, next thing is upper body position on this bike. I tried on my last ride with the 700. I knew that I was changing bikes, so I tried to kind of notice how everything fell into place on the Tenere, so that I can compare it with this one once I got it. And it is, in my opinion, quite similar. Everything just feels very natural. It's my back is straight, my hands, I'm sinking into the ground here, gosh. And yeah, everything just falls into place quite naturally. Even when you're standing, I think because the 700 is quite like a tall bike, and the tank is so like wide and tall up here, it kind of looks and feels a little bit taller. But in this one, like everything just falls into place naturally. I haven't adjusted the handlebar, nothing on this bike yet. I was thinking that perhaps I would have to raise it a little bit, but I don't think I have to. It's it actually feels quite good as it is from stock. So yeah, quite good, isn't it? I had one guy saying, please don't make this like a suck up to your sponsors, but I can't help it. I like this bike a lot, okay? Next up, the windscreen, or the wind protection or weather protection in general. To do a comparison, the Tenere is quite slim all over. The tank is slim, the windscreen is slim, everything is very, very slim, so you don't have a lot of protection at all there from anything. Really, the windscreen was really one of the things that really bothered me on that bike. I did put like a little extra deflector or thingy on top there, which helped a little bit, but still going on the highway was not fun. With this one, you do have quite a bit of a bigger tank sitting behind, so I imagine that this one will do a better job at protecting my feet and my lower body from wind and rain and that kind of stuff. With the Tenere on the highways, even with like the taller wind deflector, the wind would just really hit me in the shoulders and in my head. And it was just kind of like a buffeting wind just really hitting me in the face. And it was so annoying and so draining on longer rides. It was really one of those things that I really wish was better on that bike. The shorter windscreen is better for off-road use, for your own safety, just in case if you go over the bike, at least you're not going through a windscreen. This windscreen is also quite low, but it is different. I do get the wind still, like from here and up, I guess, but it's not like a buffeting, hitting you in the face kind of wind for me with my height. It's more like an even flow of wind. It's not horrible. I could absolutely live with this, but that is one of the upgrades that I will do on this bike. I will get the taller touring windscreen that you can see on the Expedition, for example. And I am excited to see if that will make a difference. So yeah. Next question is about the fuel capacity and how far you can travel on a full tank on this bike and also the Tenere. So the Tenere, I believe, have a 16-liter tank and estimated consumption of 4.16 something liters per 100 kilometers. This one has a 19 liters tank, but it has a estimated fuel consumption of 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which kind of makes it even. You get a few like 10, 20, maybe 30 kilometers extra on this bike, which really can like make it or break it if you're pushing it. So far on this bike though, trip info, yeah, there you go. So far my consumption is 4.2 liters per kilometer, so quite good, I'd say. It's about the same as I had on my Tenere actually, so I guess I'll get quite a bit of extra kilometers on this one. Next question is about the size and the weight and the maneuverability of this bike, which is one of those things that I think a lot of people have great things to say about this one. And the bikes with similar design like this one, like the KTM 890 and 790, where the tank is so low, so you have so much of the weight down here below. At first when I got this bike, I was a little bit intimidated by the fact that it looks so big. There's so much going on up here, it's so like wide and chunky, almost like the GS. But this is like mostly just plastic up here. You have the coolant on the right here. I don't know what's going on the left here, but there's not a lot of weight at all going up here. So yeah, that of course makes it very nice, very easy to maneuver and to move around. Yeah, especially since I'm just like on my tippy toes with this bike. It feels really nice and safe that it's so stable and so well balanced, and it just makes it so easy to log around in the driveway and stuff, just moving it around when you're off the bike. I don't have anything bad to say about that either. Okay. Next question about this bike is about the quick shift. It comes with quick shift from the factory, both up and down, and I have to say it is so smooth. Once you find like the sweet spots of the quick shift, you don't even feel, there's not even a nudge, nothing. You can't feel the gear shift at all. And it makes me a lazy rider because it's just so fun and easy to use. I remember there were quick shift on the BMW 1250, the GS that I rode when I was in Spain. And I remember feeling like that was such a nice thing to have and going off-road, and especially as a rookie, coming into corners a little bit fast or slow or whatever, and having to shift gears once you're standing up there and not having to clutch or anything, and just being able to shift like that, it was very comfortable. But it does make you lazy. I'm really glad that I did have the Tenere first, which is quite stripped of pretty much all technology. It has the ABS that you can turn on and off, and that's pretty much it. And then yeah, I go to this bike and it just like it does so much for you that you don't even have to think about. So I'm really excited to take this off-road and see what that will be like, if I feel like it helps me or if it's very different, or yeah, just I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. I have a feeling it will be quite all right. Next question is, how user-friendly is the interface of this bike? In my opinion, it is quite user-friendly, and coming from me, I think that actually means something, because I'm not a very tech person. Coming from the Tenere, that pretty much had nothing, and that's kind of what I preferred and wanted, because all of this technology just scares me a little bit, and I'm afraid it's gonna take away my concentration when I'm riding. Especially as a rookie rider. I don't know if you guys know, but I got my license in 2020, so this is my 4th season, I guess. 4th season? I've riding a motorcycle for 3 years now. This is my 4th season. Holy shit. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. But yeah, I like it. It is quite intuitive. You have all these categories. It's quite intuitive where you find the stuff. The screen is nice and bright, both in daytime and nighttime, not too bright. Even in the sunlight, there's no problem seeing what's on there. I don't know what else is to say about that, really. There is different ride modes on this one. You have street, you have rain, and you have off-road, which is pretty much, I think, all I'm going to need. I'm making a promise to you and myself that this year I will make an effort getting to know all this tech stuff. Like, I haven't ever even tried a cruise control on any of the bikes that I've ever tried. I haven't touched it. All this tech stuff kind of scares me. I like simple things. I like things that works. But I have faith in this bike, and I have faith in myself, I think. Well, we'll just have to see, I guess. It could be fun, and perhaps I'll, realize what I'm missing out on with all this tech stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. Second to last question is about the price of this bike. Some of you guys have commented that it is quite a pricey bike, which it is, don't get me wrong, but it's not a lot more expensive than any of the other bikes in this category, of this size, of this capacity out there. Like for example, the African Twin or the 890 Adventure, or those kind of bikes, they are pretty much all around the same price up there. It is. Bikes are expensive, they are flipping expensive, but you do get a lot. You do get a lot on this bike. So in Norway, this one costs about a whopping 200,000 kroners, which is about 20,000 euros, I guess, which is a lot of money. And that was actually one of the reasons that I did choose the Tenere last time and not the Norden. The Norden was very high on my list of the bikes that I wanted when I got the new bike last year. But the price was one of the major things that made me choose the Tenere over this one. But this year I'm a spoiled brat, meaning I'm not paying for this bike, I'm borrowing this one for the season. And that topic brings us to the last question of this video, which is a little bit of a personal one, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to answer that one, but I want to keep this real and transparent, and I understand that a lot of you want to know and are curious about this, and that is where does all the money come from? I understand if you're new and you're coming to my channel, it kind of looks like the only thing I do is travel around and making motorcycle videos. Motorcycles are expensive, traveling is expensive, and camera equipment is expensive, and when you combine all of that, it's just, there's a lot of money going on there. So I totally understand why you guys wonder. So I moved out from my home when I was 16 years old because I wanted to go to a school that was far away from where my parents and the rest of my family lived. So I moved out and moved there on my own. And since then I have pretty much fully supported myself with my own money. And that means that you get good at saving and you get very good at prioritizing what you want to spend your money on. All my money is coming from hard work. There's no free money or anything like that going on here. I worked hard for everything that I own and have earned, and that's something I'm actually quite proud of. Saving and prioritizing money, meaning the pretty much only thing that I've spent my money on for the last 3 years has been motorcycle, traveling, and camera equipment, which means that I have had no fancy holidays, I have no fancy car, I rarely buy any new clothes or that kind of stuff. These clothes are also sponsored by Klim. I did not buy these expensive clothes myself. I still don't own a place or a house or apartment, which is very normal for people at my age in Norway, that you already own your own apartment. I still rent a place, and I'm okay with that because that means I get to do the things that I really like doing, which is traveling with my motorcycle. And up until recently, I have had a completely normal full-time job. I am a nurse by profession. I worked at an emergency care center for a couple of years, and then I moved to the private sector where I did a few trips offshore as a medic, and after that I've been working with stuff that is not really nurse related at all. And in February this year I quit my job and I started my own company with the support of a friend. We started the company together. It is scary as heck because my normal steady income is completely gone. But yeah, I really hope it works out. As you probably understand, at this point my YouTube channel is not even close to being enough to support me or my travel or my just normal expenses. So I still have to work on the side. But yeah, I think it's going to be worth it, and I think it's going to work out. I really hope it does. With that said, I just want to finish off by saying thank you for watching this video. That's pretty much the best way you can support me and this channel, and so we can continue doing this and sharing this experience with you guys. And yeah, if you have further questions that you want to know after I've gotten the opportunity to test this bike for a bit longer and ride it further, leave them in the comments and I will save them for this. I think I'll make another video in the fall, this autumn, once I've finished my longest trip. And that's it, I guess. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening, and I'll see you guys soon.